So here's the thing, guys. Sometimes we don't want to do certain things, even if we know that we should do it or we want to do it. We know it's going to be good for us. We know the steps, but we don't do it. So what's in the way is the mind. So today I'm going to be talking about how to motivate yourself. And hopefully I will help you to feel motivated by the end of this. So here's the thing. When I was younger, I had so many times where I wanted this, I wanted that. I saw other people having this, I saw other people having that. And I was like, yeah, why isn't it like that for me? It was just this resistance. And I know you're feeling this. You're feeling this resistance to exercise, to the business, to whatever you're doing right now. There's this voice inside your head. Some people call this procrastination, but I don't believe in procrastination. That's just an excuse that we give ourselves. Oh, I'm a procrastinator. No, it's not real. It's just you are not able to break through the mind's barrier. You're letting it take you over. You're letting it possess you. Because you want to do this stuff. You know the benefit of this stuff, but you're just not doing it. There's resistance there. Sometimes it could be fear. Sometimes it could be, I don't know how this is going to work out. This feels tiring. This feels hard. So what do you do there? You have to start with some small step. Or you can take a big step. You can take that big leap people talk about. But there has to be action. There's no way you're going to get through this by trying to use your mind to go against your mind. Your mind says, no, I can't do this. If you sit there trying to use your mind against that, what's the point? It doesn't get anywhere. If you wait for the motivation to come, if you wait for this flash of insight, yeah, you might feel fired up, but you still have to take action. You still have to do something for change to occur. I remember when I was lifting weights, right? And I would be wanting to lift a heavier weight. I want to get to a PR, a personal best. And then I would load up the weight. But inside my head, there was this doubt. You can't do this. No, this is too much. And then I didn't. I couldn't lift it and I felt crummy. But then there were these times where I was fired up. I was like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to make this happen. And I surprised myself and everything works out. It's the same with any action. Anything you want to do, you have to have this. You have to have this breaking through of that barrier. There has to be enough energy firing you through. So, how do you do that? Here's number one. Number one is knowing that your time on this earth is limited. If you sit around waiting for all this stuff to happen, or saying, yeah, maybe someday, or I'm making some progress, maybe one day I'll get here, or looking at other people, comparing, that's just time wasted. And I know for me, many years flew by in that period. So remember, you are a finite being. As soon as you can really feel your mortality and you notice years flying by, for me, it was like a birthday's flying by, Christmas, and you hear people talking about this. They're like, oh, another year's gone by. And it's like there's this defeated tone about it. Because they know that this hasn't been an amazing year. Otherwise, they'll be like, yeah, this year has been amazing. I can't wait for another year. You see the difference. One person is thriving in their mortality, and the other person is feeling defeated by their mortality. So tap into that. Tap into the fact that you're going to die. Yeah, I've said it right in your face. You're going to die. You know you're going to die. feel that feeling. You don't want to be that bitter old person someday who's talking to the children saying, oh, you should do this thing because I didn't get a chance. Sad. Sad life. Go and do the thing, because then you can be that old person who's just smiling. You know, that person you see, that person who's old and they've had an amazing life. You'll be talking to the children saying, yeah, you should go and do these things because they're amazing. I've done them. That's the way you want to live, by living. Number 2, get yourself fired up. However you do this, change your state. We have this physical body to use. It's a machine. It's our tool. It's not about, okay, you have an amazing body and you look great on a beach. Fine, that's one way you can do this. But if you use this body to really create energy for you, that's what it does. Fire yourself up. If you have to, you can do some intense exercise in the morning. That's a great thing to do. You wake up, you're feeling groggy, you just start doing something intense for 15 to 20 minutes. You'll shake up all of that tension and you'll be fired up. Whatever it is for you. Breathing exercises as well. Breathing exercises, you're pulling oxygen in. Breath is the most underrated thing ever, but it will change your state of being. You'll get fired up. Pulling the air in. The more oxygen you have, the more you're going to feel better. And there's specific ways to do this through yogic style breathing, but I'm not going to go into that right now. You can look up various ways to fire yourself up. So that's number 2. Number 1 was your mortality. Number 2, fire yourself up. Number 3 is to get really still. To really become so still that you can watch your thoughts, you can see them. So you don't get pulled by them now. Because it's like if you know that this is whispering, there's a whispering voice in your ear, then you'll be like, hey, that's a voice. That's not really true. So get still. Get really still. You can do this through meditation, or you can just do this through other activities like walking, like art for some people. Whatever it is for you, work it out. Get still. Because then you are now a master at energy, which I mentioned earlier as number 2. And now you're a master at awareness. Those 2 things combined, that's what we are made of. That's what everything's made of. The dark and the light. The stillness and the energy. So really get good at these. These are life skills. So that's the 3rd one. Number 4, you take some small actions. The reason why people get overwhelmed is because it feels like such a big thing. Doing this change that you want in your life, building this thing, it feels so overwhelming because maybe you're looking far in the future of what you want, or it feels like a mountain. It feels like, okay, like I want to lose some weight. It feels like a mountainous task. I want to make a business. It feels like such a big thing. Make it small then. There's no way that you can achieve this thing right now anyway. So it's just nonsense going in your head. It's like theoretical future-based thinking. Now, what can you do right now? What's this tiny, this size step? Can you see how small that is? That size step you can take because that's the momentum that will get you going. So action is the next one, small actions. Number 5. Now you're taking actions. Number 5 is rewarding. rewarding yourself, reflecting and rewarding. When you reflect and reward, then you are saying to yourself, you took this tiny action, well done. And your brain is so clever, it will adapt. It will listen to your praise and it will say, yeah, he's rewarding me. Then dopamine gets secreted in your body. It just means the reward chemical. You feel good. You feel great. I made this first step. But if you're actively rewarding yourself, you're creating a dopamine spike consciously instead of it just happening randomly. Because most people don't reward themselves. Reward yourself with everything in life, the small things. Neuroscience has proven that this is what is needed for habits to happen, for change to happen. We have to reward ourselves. We have to look at the journey we're going on, not just the destination. You know, the cliche of it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's very true, but that's how you change things. And not just rewarding what you have done. Here's the little secret trick. Rewarding what you are doing instead of something else. So what I mean by that is, right now I'm exercising. That's the first part of the reward system. But then also recognizing what you would have been doing if you were not exercising, lying in bed, staring at your phone, feeling even worse. So reward those two things. And that's a double hit. So that's gonna keep you going. That really is gonna keep you going. Because now you know, I'm able to do these things. Your brain will start changing. It will change and it will learn, it will grow. Because all of this stuff is new, right? All of these changes we want are difficult for a reason. They're uncomfortable for a reason. Because we've been in patterns. If I said to you to go and walk down a street that you've never been down because you've only been walking on the same street for your whole life, the same street, only that street, it would feel uncomfortable. But what if you get onto the new street and you realize, wow, this street is actually more smooth. It feels nicer for my feet. It's different. I'm learning. Then you get this variety in life. Your brain builds new connections. You learn, you adapt, you grow. That's what we are for. We are creatures who love to learn and grow. When has there ever been a movie that you've watched or enjoyed, story you've read, anything that anyone said to you which hasn't been enjoyable because of the journey? This is why things like Netflix are so addictive, because we love to see these journeys, these changes. It's so like ingrained in us. So that means that there's something in us which gets a buzz off this. So you just have to learn to create that buzz. So those are the steps. It's not too much. That's all I'm going to say for now. There's loads of different combinations and nuances with this, but I'm going to leave it as that. And if you just work on these 5 things, you're going to see a change. Everything's going to start happening. You'll slowly start becoming a master of your life. Here's a bonus one. Number 6 is you are not the psychological patterns. The emotions, the thoughts, they are happening. Let them happen. But remember, you are this person who is watching and you are separate from that. It's just this story you've collected. And like I said earlier, if that's all you know, that your psychology is based on what you know. So those patterns, that resistance is based on, okay, I know this, so I'm going to try and stay with this because this is all my brain understands. But it's not true, because we are beings who can connect to a different modality. And that's when we can go into the new. Some people call this spiritual. You can use whatever word you want. There's this heightened state. Like I said earlier, we love to thrive and grow. So if you can tap into that, you will break through. You will do whatever you want to do. Because this is what you want to do. Only thing stopping you is the brain, the mind, the thoughts, the emotions. But living in that is a very it can be restrictive. You live in that spiritual mode, everything really is spiritual. Everything that we do is going into that core. So just tap into that more. So I'm going to leave it as that. Number 1 was your mortality. Tap into your mortality, the fact that you're going to die someday. That's a great way to get yourself moving and get you out of the mind. Number 2 is energy. Tap into that. Create systems. The foods you're eating, the habits you're doing, the things you're doing like movement. Create this furnace, this fire. That's when you can create so much growth because now you have the fuel. Number 3, stillness, awareness. This is being able to watch, accessing a different mode. So you realize you are not really these thoughts. Number 4 is to reward yourself. Really reward yourself. Because that's what's going to change the brain, and small, simple steps. Actually, that was number 4 and 5. Small, simple steps and then reward. Because then that's when change really happens. It doesn't happen like you all of a sudden become this thing. That's where people get stuck. They're like, I want to be here. And this task feels so overwhelming that it becomes this monster, so I do nothing. It doesn't seem like it's possible. But if I said to you, do this one thing, so if it was exercise, let's say, okay, go for a run for 5 minutes. You might say, that's ridiculous, that's nothing. But it's better than doing nothing, right? That's a small, simple step. And then maybe you'll feel so good that you'll be like, okay, I'm here for 5, let me just continue and I'll carry on for 10. You see the movement, the change, momentum builds when we take action. Action creates wisdom. Action creates these changes we want. So, number 6, the bonus one, was to tap into this existential, or spiritual, you can call it, mode, rather than this psychological thing, believing all of that stuff. If you waited for yourself to feel ready or feel good, a lot of people say that to me. They're like, I don't know if I feel ready. Yeah, but you don't, because this is based on your memories. That's why you feel that way. Don't wait for feelings. Do action and then the feelings will come. So that's my video today on how to get yourself moving and how to create changes. This was useful. Tell me which one of those were most useful for you, or which one of those is the most struggle. So write to me and say, this number was most useful, and this is the one I struggle with most. And I'd love to go into more detail with you, but this is not a one size fits all, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, because everyone has their own time, their own jobs, their own routine, family commitment sometimes, but you can make this work around your life. Everyone can. So write to me if you want to go into more detail, and I would happily send you a detailed guide or a video that I might have made about this, or we can have a conversation. All right, we'll leave it as that and have an awesome rest of your day.